Welcome back to yet another video on discrete mathematical structures. Till now we have covered set theory, and today we are going to move towards a very interesting topic which is relations. But before starting relations formally, let's understand the meaning of this term relation, and then we'll identify what basically the relations are. So this term relation basically means that a way in which two or more people or things are connected. And formally, this relation is used to indicate any sort of relationship and this relationship will be between two objects. For example, I can have a relationship which can be between, let's say, parent and child, I can have a relationship between a student and teacher. This kind of relationship also exists. And additionally, I can have a relationship once again between a student and a course. Right, I can add some more things as well. So you have a relation with this discrete mathematical course where you are a student of this particular course, and vice versa, the student has enrolled for this particular course. We'll see those fine granuled examples in our coming slides. But before going into relations, let's see some basic terms which we'll be using and on which our entire discussion of relation relies. So to start with, what we have is something called as ordered pair. So an ordered pair, we have already discussed about ordered pair in your set theory, but let's formally take this discussion ahead. So an ordered pair, let's say A comma B, is a listing of objects, or we can also say elements, A and element B in a prescribed order with A which appears first and B which appears second. So I can have a relationship between two sets using ordered pairs, such as, let's take some examples. So let's say A is let's say Jaipur. I have a set A where the elements are Jaipur, Lucknow, and let's say Bhopal. And on the other hand, I have another set B, which is, let's say, Rajasthan, and let's say I have another object or element, which is your, let's say, Uttar Pradesh, and I have another one which is, let's say, Madhya Pradesh. From this particular example, you might have got an idea that there is a relationship between A and B. And what kind of relationship this is? So there is a relationship which is capital of between the elements of A and B of set A and set B. Right. We can also say that A comma B is equals to C comma D if A is equals to C and B is equals to D, right? So if I have this kind of ordered pair where I identify that A comma B is equals to C comma D, right? In that case, this is only possible when your A is equals to C and your B is equals to D. Now this was about ordered pairs. So now let's talk about the product sets or the Cartesian products. So if suppose I have two sets A and B, so the Cartesian product A cross B will be equal to A comma B, where A exists in A, capital A, that is the set A, and B exists in capital B, which is my set B. Now, in addition to this, for the sake of let's say understanding, let's take one quick example which I suppose I took in my previous videos as well. If suppose I have A is equals to 1 comma 2 and B is equals to A comma B comma C, so in that case my A cross B will be equal to 1 comma A, 1 comma B, 1 comma C, similarly 2 comma A, 2, sorry, let me write it once again, 2 comma A, 2 comma B and 2 comma C. That's how I am obtaining the product set or the Cartesian product. Similarly, let's say if I have a set A, so the Cartesian product of A cross A will be equal to A square. And if suppose once again I am going for, let's say, this Cartesian product, and this is, let's say, for n times. In that case, this will be equal to a to the power n. And now, since we have talked about relation, we have talked about ordered set, we have talked about Cartesian product. Now let's formally talk about relations. Previously we saw the term relation. Let's talk about relations in set theory. So let's take two sets, A and B, and let these A and B be two non-empty sets. That means these sets have some values. So in that case, a binary relation or I can call it as simply a relation from A to B is a subset of A cross B. That is, this relation R is a subset of A cross B, which is nothing but my Cartesian product. And symbolically, I can write this relation R as ordered pair A comma B, where A is an element of set A, small a, small b is an element of set B, and there is a relation in a form of A or B. And this A capital R B indicates that A is R related to B. Small a is R related to B. So if suppose, let's say, if R is a relation, so if R is a relation from set A to B, now understand this thing very carefully, because if you are able to get this point, you will sail through this particular topic. Then R is a set of ordered pair. That means R will be a set which will contain ordered pairs where each first element comes from obviously A, because it's an ordered pair, and each second element comes from B, that is, for all small a which exists in capital A and B which exists in capital B, exactly one of the following holds true. And what it is? One is your A comma B exists in R, then we say that A is R related to B, which is A R B. Another is A comma B does not exist in R, then we say A is not R related to B. That means A is not R related to B. It can also be written as A R prime B. Now let's once again see what I am trying to say by these points. See, first of all, I got to know that R is a relation from A to B. Now R will be having something in the form of your ordered pairs. That means something will be in the form of, let's say, something like A comma B, or let's say A comma 1, A comma 2, A comma 3, and so on and so forth. Right, where each of the first element, which is A, that would come from this set capital A, and each of the second element 1, 2, 3 will come from this set B. Right, so R will be nothing but a set having the ordered pair where each of the first element will come from this A and each of the second element will come from B, and we'll have one of the following things which will hold true, which is like either I'll have A is related to B or A is not related to B, under the circumstance that A comma B is a part of R or A comma B is not the part of R. So I have what I'll have two sets A and B, from which I will get another set of ordered pairs which is R, and from that I'll take a call that whether there is a relation R which is holding true or not. So what we can further add is, if let's say R is a relation and this relation is from a set A to itself, right, that means relation is from A to A only. That is, in that case R will be a subset of A square. A square here means A cross A. Right, let me once again write it so that there should not be any confusion. R will be a subset of A cross product A. Then we say R is a relation on A. Right, in that case we say R is a relation on A. So that means I have like some set A, which is let's say 1, 2. Right, so once again A is going to be 1, 2 only. Now, so A cross A will be, now by this time I expect this answer from you guys. So it would be like 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, and this is nothing but a relation R. So there will be some relation, so we can write that R is a subset of A square, or I can write R is a subset of A cross product A, where capital A is a set. So probably my point might be much more clearer with the help of this particular example. Now let's take our discussion a little further. So let's suppose, if I have, let's say, A comma B as two non-empty sets, such that n of A, now we are dealing in terms of cardinality, and n of B is equals to small n. In that case, your cardinality of the cross product of n A cross B will be m cross n. Now this, let's add some more discussion on the same topic. So let's say I have power set of A cross B, which is P of A cross B, and this is going to have 2 to the power m cross n elements. Now I guess I don't need to throw some light on what basically the power set is. We in the previous videos we have already covered it, and since every subset of A cross B can be a relation from A cross B, hence in that case there may be 2 to the power m cross n different relations from set A to set B. Now this is something which you have to give a thought. So what I'm trying to say, that in case of let's say A cross B, I have a power set which is P of A cross B. So obviously if suppose A has m elements and B has n elements, so power set of A cross B will have 2 to the power m cross n elements, and every set of A cross B can be a relation from A cross B, right? So in that case So in that case, we can have like 2 to the power m cross n different relations from set A to set B. Here what we are trying to say is from A to B. Now let's talk about domain and range of relations. Right, so we are taking our discussion on relations a bit further. Now let R be a relation from set A to set B. Then what we are going to write is R equals to, let's say, small a comma b, such that A exists in A and your B exists in capital B, and we have like A, R, B. Now the domain of this relation R is actually the set of all the first elements of the ordered pair which belongs to R. What I'm trying to say is, let me depict it, that D will be equals to A, where A exists in A and your A comma B exists in this relation R. This thing is also denoted by domain of R. Right, so what we are trying to say is that domain will be all the first elements. It is nothing but the set of all the first elements. So let's say if I am getting a relation in a form of let's say A comma B and then C comma D and then let's say E comma F, right, some random relation I am taking. So this domain will be nothing but your A comma C comma E. Now from this particular discussion and this particular example, you might have also got some idea that domain is the first element and the range of the relation R is nothing but the set of all the second elements of what? Second element of the ordered pair which belong to R. So that means what I can write is range of R is equals to B such that my B exists in set B and A comma B exists in R. That's how I can identify the range. That means all the elements or all the second elements of the ordered pair of R. Now from this discussion on domain and from this discussion on range, you might have got a clear-cut idea that the domain of range R is nothing but a subset of A. And range of R is nothing but a subset of B. And any other element of set A and set B which are not in domain or which are not in range of R respectively are in some sense not in the relation even. Right, it is not in the relation even. Now let's take one example, right? So in that case, things will be much more clearer. Sorry. So we need to find the total number of distinct relations from a set A and a set B. Right. So in this case, you can assume that okay, let's say A has like M elements and your B has, let's say, N elements. So A cross B will have M into N elements. So in case of par set of your A cross B, your number of elements of power set of A cross B will be your 2 to the power mn. We had a discussion just now. So in that case, your A cross B will have 2 to the power mn different subsets, and we know that every subset of A cross B is nothing but a relation from A to B. So the different relations from A to B will be equal to 2 to the power mn. Right, and if suppose I have a binary relation set A, so in that case I'll have like 2 to the power n square. Right, this is a separate point because like A cross A will have like n square elements. So in that case I'll have 2 to the power n square, or else what the question says, that is I have 2 to the power mn different subsets or different relations. Now, in order to explain this particular example, I consumed this particular slide. So let's now talk formally on inverse relations. So this time let's take R, which is nothing but a relation from A to B, then we can have an inverse relation which is given by, let's say, R minus 1, and this, since this is an inverse relation, so this will be from this will be from B to A, and it can be defined by R inverse, which is equals to, by this time you might have got an idea that this will be like B comma A, where B exists in set B, small a exists in set A, and your A comma B exists in R. Now, since in the previous case it was about the relations, this time we are talking about inverse relation. So obviously I'll have, instead of, I'll have something which is like B comma A instead of A comma B every time, and it will be from B to A instead of A to B. Your inverse of relation R is basically obtained by reversing the order of ordered pairs which belong to R. So that can be observed here, right? We have reversed the order of the ordered pair. Now there are some more interesting points to note. One is that your domain of inverse relation R is nothing but your range of R, and similarly your range of inverse relation R is equals to domain of R. So from A comma B and B comma A, you might have got an idea that it is nothing but the inverse. So domain and range playing hand in hand just by finding the inverses. Now the point is that what is basically the real life usage of these domains and ranges. So we can have, like, when we'll see the variety of relationships, which is like one-to-one and on-twos and other stuff, in that case there will be a usage. In addition to that, we can have certain examples such as, so one family living in one house, and your house single house containing one family, so it's like a relationship. Or maybe like each student having a single unique roll number and each roll number associated with a single student. That can be another real life example of relation. Each one of you having one passport and each passport is with a single unique person. That can be another form of relationship. So these are some of the examples from the real life where we see the real life usage of relations. And in our next video we are going to talk about the types of relations, where we'll focus on the identity relation or the inverse relation once again, or the n-ary relation, or a relation which is reflexive in nature, or it can be irreflexive, or it can be your non-reflexive nature, it can be a symmetric relation. So all these relations we are going to cover in our next video. But before moving to a next video, I would suggest you to go through this particular topic of relations if you are not getting an idea, because forming a base is something which is very necessary. So for example, we started with the relations where we saw some basic real life example. We talked about the ordered pair, which is in a form of, let's say I have, let's say, a set R which is in a form of, let's say, A comma 1 and B comma 2 and C comma 3. So this is something which is forming an ordered pair. And then we looked into your some basic examples of, okay, I already took some basic examples. We talked about the product set or the Cartesian products, that was forming a base of this particular thing, because Cartesian product is giving us nothing but the ordered pairs, right? These 1 comma A, 1 comma B, 1 comma C, 2 comma A, 2 comma B, 2 comma C are nothing but your ordered pairs only, right? So these things we have utilized further. Then we saw the Cartesian product, where we said that, okay, I have a set A and I can multiply or maybe the cross product with itself is giving what all results. And we looked into your then relations, which we said that, okay, this is nothing but subset of the cross product of two sets, and these two sets are to be the non-empty sets. And then we saw relations into some depth, right? And we saw some instances as well, and we talked about your inverse relation ultimately. So with this I would like to conclude this particular video, and in this in the next video we are going to talk about your types of relations. See you then.